Hi everyone and welcome back, and what I'm going to do now is show you how to turn your soap design into what is ready to be made into a 3D printed mold. What you do is you click down onto the, let's say, right face, and you create sketch on the right face. From there, what you're going to want to do is create a stand for your mold to sit on, or for your fake block of soap to sit on. So I'm going to create a line up from the middle, and I'm going to make it 11.5, looks about the middle. Okay, so I'm aiming for the middle so that it will have the least impact on the design for the block. You could do it here, anywhere you wanted to, really. It's not going to make much difference. But if you do it here, obviously, then you'll click on the back and make the sketch on the back. What I'm going to do now is create a circle in this area. So I'll click on the circle. This is the center diameter circle. This can be done either with this button, or you can do it by pressing C, and I'm going to make it 10 millimeters, so that will give me a 10 millimeter internal diameter circle, and that's where I'm going to finish that sketch for now. I'm going to hide that body. I'm going to click on that circle and bring the body back, and I'm going to extrude. And you can either do the create extrude, or you can just press E. But we're going to do something a little bit different with this one. Normally they will start from the profile plane, which is where the sketch is, but I want it offset from that, so I'm going to offset that by 30 millimeters, but I want it 30 is too much. Let's go 25 millimeters, and I'm going to make it extend out till it clears the model. And the reason for that is because I want to cut a chunk of that model out, because I'm going to make the stand for the mold attached to the model in here. So cut, OK, and that'll leave me a hole, and we can put the model on a stand by mounting it through that hole. So next stage, I'm going to click on the inside of that, and I'm going to extrude again, either through the menu or by hitting E, and I'm going to bring it out 30 millimeters. But rather than joining the model, we're going to make it a new body, and that means that they are not attached to each other. So that will mean that this is one piece and this is another piece, and you can see that it comes and goes. You can see that it comes and goes as a separate piece. If they were joined together, then it would become one single body. Now, when you're doing 3D modeling, you have to be aware of what the tolerances of the printer is going to be, and usually that means you're going to have to make any piece that fits inside another piece have to be a little bit smaller than it actually is. And the way that we do that is modify offset face, and what that allows you to do is make this face bigger or smaller, and we're going to make it smaller, and I'm going to make it 0.2 millimeters smaller than the hole, so it will fit nicely into the hole. and you can see that there, that it's given a gap around the piece. So from here on, we don't really need to worry about the block of soap so much. What we're going to do is talk about building things on the faces that we've already got. So on the base of the mounting stick, we're going to build another sketch, and in the middle of that we're going to make a rectangle. So we're going to look for Centrepoint rectangle or center rectangle, and we're going to find the center of that circle, and it will lock on as you get to it, and then we're just going to make it bigger. So I'm going to make it 60 wide by 40 long or 40 deep, and that should be enough. Now, because this is offset a little bit because of the way that the bar curves, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to do that by doing a 2-point rectangle, clicking in the corner and then clicking over here, and I'm going to make it about 4 millimeters. I think we'll make it maybe 3 millimeters. Should make it about 4, I think I had it right. 4 millimeters to start with. So we've now got, and if we select both parts, we've now got the foundation for a stand, and I'm going to make that a 5 millimeter stand, and you'll understand a bit why later on. And then on the bottom again, we're going to do another sketch, same Centrepoint rectangle. We're going to go down here, we're going to find the middle here, and you'll get that little triangle when it's the middle. You drag it over and it will lock in place to the middle, and you just bring that out again. So the first one was 60, so we'll make this one 65, and 40, so we'll make it 45. Was it 40? Mustn't have been 40. Oh no, because we made it smaller, didn't we? That's right. Okay, so we'll make it 40. 41. So we've now got the potential for another rectangle on the bottom. So we'll extrude that out again. I'm going to press E, and I'm going to make it 2 millimeters thick. So what we've now got is our bar of soap sitting on a stand, and that's what we want. This outline here is what will serve as the walls to our mold. So what we're going to do is we're going to extrude. I'm going to press E, and I'm going to lift that up again to make sure that it covers the top of the mold by a few millimeters. So you can see the outline of the mold. So I'm going to go up 105, and that should give me about 5 mil, maybe more, over the top of, drag it all the way back. Okay, at 100 is where it disappears, so 105. If I do 105 millimeters, that will give me 5 millimeters thick base of the mold, because this is where the base of the mold is going to be, because when we pour the silicone in here, this becomes the bottom. and this becomes the top. So we're going to do another new body, and I'm going to click OK. So we've got our parts of the mold. We've got the outside, that will be a frame to contain the silicone when we pour it in. We've got the base that'll hold it up so that it's not touching anything. And we've got the object that we actually want to cast. So this here is what we really want, and everything else around it is just to provide something for this to sit in while we pour the mold. As we did with this stand, we're going to take these faces and we're going to offset face again, and I'm going to do it by -0.2 millimeters. Actually, I'll do it -0.1 because I know that my printer will do that. So that will give me a gap, and when you put this body back, you'll still be able to see that gap. And what that means is that we will be able to take this piece off once the silicone is cured. We can take this piece off and we'll be left with a block of silicone with that. We will then be able to pull this piece out and we'll be left with a big square block of silicone with this shape left in the middle. And we should then be able to do a small cut at the top of the mold that will allow us to squeeze that out. And you want to be able to squeeze that out. You don't want it to just be able to be pulled out, because with the soap it'll be a little bit slippery anyway, and you want it to still have the mold's integrity to hold the shape. When you've got something like this and you know that it's going to be a mold where you're going to have to pour something in, all we've left here is a very small 1 centimeter hole. Now that's not very big for filling, so in order to help us later, I'm going to take this and I'm going to create a chamfer, which is modify chamfer, and I'm going to pull that out to the point where it's just about to touch the mold. And what that will do is create a nice big pouring spout that you can pour the mold into, pour the soap mixture into, in order to allow it to get into that void more easily. So I'm going to click OK with that, and we're done. That's it. That's all you need to do. From there, you can, on each individual body, go save as mesh, whatever format you want. For 3D printing we use STL, and OK, and that will save the file to wherever you want it to be. So you save it as mold shell, that one will be saved as the mold shell. Save as mesh, STL, same again, mold stand, and then this one, save as mesh, soap block. I'd already done that one. And there you go. From there on, it's just a matter of getting it to a 3D printer and making sure that this is nice and neat and smooth and beautiful. The more effort you put into making this nice, the better it will turn out at the end. If you put no effort into it, it's going to have little bumpy lines all over it. If you put heaps of effort into it and make it nice and smooth and beautiful, you prime it, sand it, all that sort of stuff, when you cast your mold, it will be smooth as silk, because silicone picks up every little bump. So it's worth putting the effort into it if you're going to cast lots and lots and lots of things with it. And the way that this mold is set up, because it all comes apart, you can just keep pouring a new lot of silicone in there. When you have the silicone cure, you take it apart, put it back together again, pour in a new lot of silicone, and you can set up as many molds as you want. Alright, hope that's been helpful, and if you like the video, like it, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next time. In the meantime, have fun making things, guys.